Hey everybody, it's Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a game called Dubious. Dubious is a game published by Hobby World and Arcane Wonders, at least Arcane Wonders is in America, designed by Dave Neal, plays 3 to 6 players, probably 30 minutes or so. We played it with a couple 9-year-olds, that may be a little too young, so what's the box say? 14 plus, you could probably play it with like a 12-year-old, but I wouldn't play it with a 9-year-old. Some of the questions and the abstract thinking was a little bit much. So effectively what you're doing in this game is, let's see if there's any theme. Doubt is in the air. How much can you tell about a person from their clothes or moods? Is it possible to work out their occupation or secret by what they have in their bag? That's what you'll have to do. Answer 5 questions. Listen carefully to what others have to say about themselves. Try to guess who's who to become the shrewdest detective ever. Now, that's the theme. It doesn't feel much like that to me. Effectively, this is a storytelling deduction game, and I'm going to let you assume what that is for a second, or you can click on the link in the video description and go check it out, and I'll explain it in greater detail in a separate video. But we'll come back to it when we get to the final thoughts. But for now, let's check out the components. All right, so the components are actually, they're pretty simple. You have these really nice player shields with really nice art. Most of the art is on this player shield. And on the inside, you have game phases and scoring, which is pretty nice. And you're going to have a big empty space in the middle where you're going to be putting the occupations and the secrets. You're going to clip them in like so to the screen. So you can see that there's 3 different ones of these. So based on the deck of cards that you're playing, you're going to have this. So this is for the blue deck, which I show in the overview. But there's a purple deck and a yellow deck. And speaking of the decks, let's look at them. So here's the blue deck, which I believe is modern or something. I don't know. I never ever really taught this game. What are they? Fantasy. So blue is fantasy. So the fantasy, and in this deck, there are cards which are occupations, which are basically characters and jobs in the fantasy world with really cool art. I love the art. It's fantastic. The cards are pretty nice quality. And then there are occupations or secrets. I guess occupations is the characters and the secrets, which is like a thing that you do or a thing that you are. And they're crazy. Like, I'm looking for a sacrificial victim. I found a genie's lamp. Like, so much of these. I purchased a cursed sword. Again, really nice art. The yellow deck, which I believe is Victorian, same deal. Really nice art, nice character art on the cards. Just a ton of good cards. So there's 3 different decks of characters, occupations, and secrets. Really nice. They're all really nice quality. They have really nice art, so no issues there. There are a bunch of questions. So there are appearance questions, which have a mirror on the back. You got those. You're going to use 2 of those each game. And then there are a pile of general questions, which have the box in question. And along with that, to go along with each of the decks, so this will go on with the yellow deck, there are 3 questions specifically related to that color of deck. So in my overview, I used blue, and actually 2 of them came out because you're going to take them all, mix them together, and there's a whole pile, and you're going to be drawing 3. So a lot of replayability there. Lots of questions. Questions like, your home was broken into. What do you do? What do you dream of? Where would you like to go right now? Just those are the types of questions. Nothing inappropriate, but just kind of to lead people to guess your stuff. There are the clips. The clips are okay. Nothing great. But again, it's just holding a piece of thing on. And my favorite thing, the pencils are freaking sweet and black. Love that. And then a whole book of paper, of pages, double-sided. You can play this game for like a year and you'll be good to go. So yeah, components are pretty good, no issue there. It's just basically all the game is in this, basically. So it's on the paper and in the people's stories and brains. So the components are just there to assist. So they do that pretty well. Rule book is not a bunch of pages. I've actually never read through it because I've been taught the game. I looked through it, how to set up. I looked through some of the scoring just to make sure I understood it. But it's like 4 pages. It's 7 pages, but the first 2 are like components and overview. So nice rule book. Fantastic box cover. I love that box cover. Sucks you in. That is awesome. So components are top notch. I have no issues. We've talked about them a lot. Let's move on and talk about gameplay and final thoughts. All right, so this is a game that I didn't want to play. Katie found it at Origins, I think, and then Arcane Wonders sent it to us. They were asking for reviewers, and I knew Katie would like it, so I wanted to get it so we could play it. I've played it twice now, and it's a pretty fun little game. So like I said in the very beginning, this is a storytelling deduction game. Now, the storytelling is minimal at best. You're basically like writing a sentence or two. And you're just trying to have somebody deduce what your occupation is and what your secret is. But not everybody. And not nobody. I know that's terrible grammar, but that's the best way to say it. You want some people to guess it. Not everybody, but you don't want also nobody to get it. Because you want to score points. So you're trying to just come up with a simple story to either lead them down to one of the paths. You can tie it together so they can try to guess both. Whatever. So you're doing a little bit of storytelling. You're listening to what people are answering. And then you're trying to deduce what they are based on the information that you know, which is 2 things from each of the occupation and secret. So 4 things total. And that's the game. If you guess people right, you get points. If some people guess your stuff right, you get some points. And then whoever has the most points is the winner. It's pretty simple. Now, it has some problems. If you're playing with people who don't like storytelling, me, but I got into it. I'm writing a sentence. It's not that big a deal. But if they really aren't into it, it could make it really hard. You could it could be super vague answers like I would wear pants. Yeah, most of the people would probably wear pants. So that's not helping anybody. Nice try. Write another thing down. So you really want to watch who you want to play with. Not a fault of the game. That's a player problem for sure. But I wanted to mention it. And the second thing is, I feel like the deduction's not... Let me rephrase. The characters are not different enough in some of the decks to make the deduction work. Now we played... I forget which one it was. Maybe it was the purple deck. No, it was the blue deck. So we played which is the fantasy. And a lot of the clues on occupation led people down the same road. Like there's like a executioner, there's a rogue, there's like a war savage or something. And they would all, like, a lot of the questions that came up pointed people down that same pathway. So it seemed like everybody was the same thing. And that was less than exciting. That is a fault of the game, I think. They could have made the occupations way more different. Like it could have been like carpenter or like, I don't know, this is not PG, but like porn star and priest. You know, kind of like the 2 different ends of the spectrum. So you can kind of describe things in different ways because they're way different. Where if I'm doing like an engineer and a computer programmer, that's not what in this deck, but that's kind of what it felt like. Some of the stuff is going to point to the same direction and it makes the deduction a little bit fuzzy. So those are my 2 negatives really. Outside of that, I had a great time playing the game. It's simple. It's just writing a sentence, trying to guess what people are. It's not like the deepest game in the world. There's actually not a ton of game there. It's mostly story and listening. But what it does offer and the questions and the way that it works is a nice package. So I like it. So I'm going to give this a BGM Accept the Seal. This is going to get a 7 out of 10 on BGG, which is a 3.5 out of 5 wrenches on our arbitrary wrench scale. That means absolutely nothing, but we like to give it the games that we enjoy, and that is what I am going to do. So that is Dubious from Arcane Wonders and Hobby World. I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and as always, keep gaming.